So let's talk about some of the gun violence that has happened recently. We were worried about that this might spread to people who are concerned about Obama taking over and taking their guns. We already had a case in Pittsburgh where the guy shot 3 cops and said to his friends, Obama's going to take my guns and I'm not going to let him do that, and he shoots 3 cops. And then we had a case this week that has gotten very little attention where something very similar happened. A guy named Joshua Cartwright, 28-year-old U.S. Army Reserve soldier, has some anger management issues to say the least. He hides guns and knives all throughout his apartment, has a huge collection, gets into a fight with his girlfriend. They argue back and forth. He takes a gun, goes to a place to shoot it, gun range, and she calls the cops because he'd already hit her and threatened her with the gun. The cops show up. They go to arrest him, and he's uncooperative, unsurprisingly. They go to taser him, and as they're tasering him, he takes out a hidden gun and shoots them both dead. Okay, so 2 cops dead in the parking lot. And then he goes on
By
a
the way,
chase.
I just want to, cops go to arrest somebody who's coming off at a shooting range. I mean, I like the idea of tasering in the situation when it's non-deadly force, but, I mean, they can have their guns drawn when they go to arrest a guy at a gun range. You know he's armed.
That's the one time
Right.
drawing your guns makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, well, there are obviously many times, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I feel terrible for those cops, but
Of course, and they said that they tried to check, of course, but that he's uncooperative, and then he had the gun hidden somewhere on him.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So he kills 2 police officers, and it turns out when we look into his history, he was convinced that Obama was quote severely disturbed that Obama had been elected president and believed the U.S. government was conspiring against him.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Gee, where could he have gotten those ideas?
yeah, I don't know. I have a tough time. I mean, first of all, maybe those guys are, those guys certainly are feeding into the wheelhouse of right-wing nutjobs. That's certainly true. There's really nothing to do about it.
I understand that. All I'm doing is pointing it out. Okay, so first, are the conservative hosts who keep saying Obama's coming for your guns, get more guns, Obama's coming for your guns, which we heard Savage and Beck, etc., are they responsible for this guy's actions? No, because they didn't shoot the cops. This guy shot the cop, and he's obviously disturbed. Am I going to argue that they shouldn't be allowed to say certain things on air? No, that probably goes too far. But should the people who hired them throw a note of caution there that perhaps they're being a little irresponsible when they stoke the people in their audience who they know already have some issues like this and keep telling them, oh, Obama's coming for your guns, watch out for the government, make sure you have enough weapons. And then we see now 2 cases back-to-back in Pittsburgh, now in Florida, where they shoot cops because they're convinced that the government's coming for their guns and that they're deeply disturbed about Barack Obama. And by the way, so when the next logical step happens, everyone will say what Condoleezza Rice always says, which is no one could have seen this coming.
Right.
Which I'm telling you right now, I can see it coming. So the Homeland Security Department puts out a report saying, hey, we should be a little careful about right-wing extremist groups who are trying to recruit Army soldiers and reserve soldiers who are coming back from the wars, who already have a lot of weapons, and who they're trying to reach. And the right wing goes ballistic, ironic use of the word, or perhaps appropriate use of the word, and they say, how dare you say that about our troops? And who is the guy who was deeply disturbed about Barack Obama and had all these weapons and then wound up shooting 2 cops? Joshua Cartwright, 28-year-old U.S. Army Reserve soldier. Does that mean that all the U.S. Army Reserve soldiers should be on a watch list? Of course not, right? But does it mean that the Homeland Security Department was kind of on the ball? They did the report before he did this shooting. That, hey, you know what? Maybe it makes sense to keep an eye on the extremist groups that are trying to encourage some of the people who might be a little unstable and have a lot of weapons. Of course that makes sense.